Okay, hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to discuss a little bit non-standard descent. It will be non-standard because I will focus mainly on one tool which is on a descent page, and as we are explaining about this tool a little bit more in deep, that's why I'm not using idle descent for the time being, and I will not use the normal kind of the descent. So that means that if we start descent prior to top of descent, the airplane, as you know, is using the economical vertical speed, which is 1000 feet per minute, in order to catch the glide slope, or let's say VNAV path, and then the airplane start to reduce the thrust levers and make idle descent via VNAV profile. Today it will be a little bit non-standard because we are discussing this tool, and as well this tool is very useful for the vectors, so that's why I choose for today descent Transavia and Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, which is quite good explanation for this kind of descent arrival approach, and yeah, basically that's it. So I will explain the situation. We are right now approximately 80 nautical miles prior to top of descent. If you can look at the chart, we are proceeding via Norku to Alpha, which should be below flight level 280 and above flight level 200, and then we are proceeding to RT point, which we have speed limitations of 250, and altitude is according to ATC air traffic controller, but it should be somewhere below flight level 70 and flight level 100, and ILS for approach will be runway 18 right. Okay, so from RT we will proceed via vectors to the ILS of runway 18 right. So this is the simple explanation, and jump to the cockpit. We will look at the page right now, and as you can see, this was what I was talking about. It was a waypoint / altitude. This waypoint, it automatically pops up when you have some, for example, altitude constraints in front of you, and it will shows you the vertical flight path angle and vertical bearing and vertical speed in order to meet the altitude constraint, which is depicted over here. But you can put your own waypoint over there, an altitude constraint, okay, which should contains the legs page. So for example, I will switch on autopilot B in order to have the master on right side, and I will switch off the flight directors and put flight path vector on the PFD from AFIS panel. As you can see, the little beard is here right now. So we are approximately, this is flight path vector. It's mainly the same as the Airbus, the so-called bird. In Boeing 737, the pilots, some pilots are using these flight path vectors in order to adjust the tilt antenna into your weather radar, but this is not so correct procedure. So anyway, this flight path vectors, it's three-dimensional. That means that it's your vector, so it's tracking your horizontal and vertical vector. That means that currently we have westerly wind configuration. That means that, as you can see, our heading is right here, and our vector it's going like now. Okay. So this is the flight path vector, and for us and for today explanation, it will be useful tool in order, because it's related into this into this column, which is flight path angle. So the flight path angle will be depicted right over here, but it's always shows to us the plus numbers, flight path angle and vertical bearing, okay, unless we are on the negative side. So anyway, we discussed what we are going to do, and we are going today using the extended centerline or inbound course. That will be another kind, so self-radar vectors, and how to use this tool with the self-radar vectors tool, okay. So this was the basic explanation, what are we going to do, and for our example, air traffic controllers gives to us, let's say, to be level at Norku at flight level 280, okay, because he told us he will be happy with this kind of situation, okay. So basically we put there flight level 280 and that's it, okay, and we'll wait for the recalculation, okay. So now we have 280, and as soon as we start the descent it will automatically pops up, okay. So we have, as I said before, we have approximately 80 nautical miles, okay. To top of descent is depicted right here, 110 nautical miles. So I will skip the video and reposition myself into prior the top of the descent, okay. Okay, so we are approximately within 20 nautical miles prior to the top of descent, and in real airplane we should start our descent approximately within 20 nautical miles in order to have the room space for the change of the runway, or let's say change of the standard instrument arrival and so on. So the normal descent will looks like that we are going via vertical speed 1000 feet per minute in order to catch the VNAV and then go to level change and idle descent, or let's say make it via VNAV and reset MCP altitude, descent now, it will keeps 1000 until to catch the VNAV pass, and then we will continue the idle descent. So we will make it for time being for explanation right now. So we have 280 to be level at the post Norku point, yes. Okay, so descent now, and now you can see that we start our descent with 1000 feet per minute, okay. So it is the most economical speed in order to catch the VNAV path, because as you can see the VNAV path is rising up, so that's why we are coming below the profile. And as we catch the profile, it will go to idle descent. You know about this situation, I will not explain it, but this is some kind of little bit very nice. It is very nice tool and very helpful tool for the flight crews, because as you can see it automatically picks up from Lex page the first altitude constraint point, and if it will reflects into the descent page, okay. So as you can see we have flight path angle and it reflects here, it's 1.3, so we have minus 1.3, it's okay, and vertical bearing to this point is as well 1.3. So we can easily make it, for example, we'll put the vertical speed right here, but within the vertical speed be aware of the fact that that in this case the vertical speed is priority of the in order to, or let's say it is priority of vertical speed, and he will not take care of the speed right now if the speed is uncontrollable, okay. So we have to always check the airspeed indicator. But anyway, as you can see we have flight path angle 1.3 and vertical bearing 1.3. That means that we are exactly on the profile with 1000 feet per minute, and as you can see the green banana, we reach Norku at flight level 280, okay. So and what will be happened if we put, for example, a level 240 overhead Norku, okay, from air traffic controller. So execute, go to descent page. Now you can see Norku 240, he will recalculate it once again, and as you can see we have flight path angle of 1.3, but we should have vertical bearing 2.8 and vertical speed 2200 approximately. So we'll go with 2200, okay? And now you can see the vertical, or let's say the flight path angle and vertical bearing. Now we have flight path angle a little bit much more steeper than vertical bearing, okay? And we have 2200 feet per minute. It's basically okay, so we should keep this speed in order to reach Norku at flight level 240. Okay, so I will reset the MCP altitude 240 like now, and now you can see the green banana is exactly at this point. But as I told you before, he will strictly adhere to vertical speed, so that's why we have target speed 280 economical speed, but now with idle thrust he won't, or let's say he's unable to keep the airspeed, okay, the target airspeed, which is right here. So that's why I'm talking about that as we are on the vertical speed, we are strictly adhere his. And here this is Norku /240. So what does it mean? It means it's straight to this waypoint and constraint, and it doesn't reflect your deceleration. Remember about this fact, okay? So now, as you can see, flight path angle and vertical bearing to the Norku is basically the same. Vertical bearing is a little bit shallower, so we can make it a little bit shallower, so we can put 2000, because vertical speed, as you can see, is 2000. So I will put 2000. We'll scroll it a little bit, and now you can see the speed is as well decreasing. And we are coming back when the vertical bearing and flight path angle are nearly the same, 2.6, 2.6 and 1900 approximately. So we have 2000, so we'll adjust speed again, so 1900. And basically this is the basic explanation of this tool and how we are using this tool. It's not always related to the first constraint point, okay? So for example, we are cleared to flight level 180 or 170 right now, so we are okay, we are good to go about Norku. As you can see, we are on the profile, and let's say that we are proceeding as usual. So we put the V now back, okay, leave it like it is now. And air traffic controller, we are expected overhead RTIP, for example, flight level 70. So what shall we do? We shall do let's say put RTIP point right here and put the flight level 70. And now you can see, if we would like to reach the RTIP point, and RTIP point, as you can see, it's from Norku straight like this way, okay? So it's a little bit of shortcut. And remember, there is a speed restriction, okay? I will delete this speed restriction 240 and leave it via RTIP 250. But remember always that you should have meet your, or let's say comply to your 250 below flight level 100. Do not wait for RTIP, okay? But anyway, this is just for training purpose. And now you can see, in order to meet the requirement, we should have a little bit more of vertical speed. So what we can do right now is put again the vertical speed and put it 2200, okay? If we are expecting this shortcut, okay? So 2200. So what does it mean? The thrust lever will be closed because we are keeping the vertical speed. If we are unable to comply with the speed, please do not use vertical speed with your speed brakes, okay? It's nonsense. But anyway, put it like level change and make it with the speed brakes. And now you can see we have 3030 and the flight path angle is 3.1, vertical bearing is 30, so approximately it's the same, and vertical speed 2020 and 200, and we have it. So we are currently below the profile. Why? Because we are trying to meet this constraint, okay? So as you can see, we are unable to comply with the speed restriction. So we put the level change and we put it like this one, okay? And watch the vertical speed, okay? So now we are okay, and we start to descending, and we need to in order to comply to have 2000. So once we have 2000, go back to vertical speed, okay, and make it like this one, and now we are good to go, okay? So, and now we have the shortcut to RTIP at flight level 70. So what I will do right now, I will put flight level 70 right over here, like this one, okay, hard restriction, and now we can put the RTIP as a shortcut. Okay, and put it here as well. And as you can see, we are currently exactly on the profile, and we should keep 2000 feet. But again, it doesn't reflect your deceleration, and we should decelerate from 280 onto to 250. Okay, so what we can do, we can make a little bit of the science. Okay, so we'll keep, if we don't have the speed constraint, if we have the speed constraints, we'll go with the level change, and in order to keep the speed and with speed brakes, okay? But in this case, if we don't have these conditions, so we'll keep it like it is now, and we'll see that with this vertical rate, for example 1800, I'll put it like this, we will reach RTIP exactly here, with our vertical speed. Okay, so it is very useful tool for us in order to know if we are high or low above the profile. And yeah, while descending, or let's say making standard approach, we are not using it much more, so basically that's okay, but if your radar vectors, it makes common sense, or if you are expecting the shortcut and you feel the air traffic controllers give you a direct to some waypoint, you may use it, okay? So you can go down below the VNAV profile and make it like this way. So I will skip the deceleration below flight level 100 and the overhead RTIP point in order just to see you that we will be right on the profile, okay? So 1800 feet per minute, 1700 I put there, 1700 feet per minute. And as you can see, again, flight path angle or vertical bearing to this point is exactly the same. So in this case, we have to catch the RTIP at flight level 70, but again, it doesn't account with your deceleration. So if we would like to decelerate the airplane, so simply put higher vertical speed, for example 2000 or 2500, and make it prior to the RTIP. And the rule of thumb is that 1 nautical mile is approximately 10 knots. Okay, so if you would like to decelerate from 280 into 250, so we have to make it 3 nautical miles prior to RTIP. So let's say, for example, I will put RTIP on the fixed page, okay, and 3 nautical miles right here. Okay, so we can adjust it a little bit, the vertical speed more, okay. So no 1700 but 2000, and as you can see, if we reach this circle and start to decelerate, it's approximately this deceleration point, but this deceleration point, it's calculated via FMC. We have field of descent forecast page, okay, so it's a basic, let's say, rule of thumb, okay. So but in our case and our purpose, I will delete the RT point and deceleration point and make it via this way, so 1500. So as we are approaching flight level 100, is okay, this should be on this side, that's fine. So as you can see, 1500, 1500, and we will reach the RT point, okay. As well, as I said before, I am just right now disregard this restriction, okay. It's for only training purpose, okay. So on VATSIM always please be aware of this procedure, 250 below flight level 100, or let's say to have maximum on RT point, which we will obey right now, okay, just for training purpose. So we can see it, we are good to go. 1300, okay, so 1300 to reach the RT point, that's basically okay. We can prepare the speed to 50, okay. As we are reaching the RT point, as you can see, we are perfectly, we have 1000 to level off now, or 500 to level off, so that's pretty okay. And so we meet our requirement exactly overhead RTIP. So we can make the heading select and make the vertical speed, and okay, we have altitude acquired, sorry for that. So we are going to, for example, flight level 45, or let's say flight level 50, like this one, and we can make it 500 feet per minute, and we will decelerate. And now what we are going to do, with real pilots are making the procedure. For example, we have this waypoint right over here. This is the final approach point. We will not be vectored to this waypoint because it's only 6 nautical miles, so make it via pebbles, okay. So go to the legs page, put pebbles on the first point, and then direct course, inbound course, or let's say ILS course 182. Put it like here, and we have now extended center line, okay. And now what we can do, we can, for example, delete this speed restriction over the pebbles, or make it there, but I will put I will delete the altitude restriction. We should have 2500 overhead pebbles, okay. So again, descent page, pebbles, slash 2500, and now we can see, in order to reach pebbles, we should have approximately 700 feet per minute or more. Again, I put there 800 or 900 feet. Okay, because it doesn't measure the deceleration. What we can do right now in order to have situational awareness, put the runway and 10 nautical miles. That means that we should have at least clean configuration or a flaps 5 configuration with 180 speed. Okay, and as you can see right now, what the airplane is doing, we are going, or let's say the VNAV path is going up. Okay, so in this case, for example, I put the pavos and 2500. Okay, press QNH, and now as you can see, the VNAV is going up. That means that we can make it shallower, much more shallower. Okay, so we can go, for example, with it's 600 right over here, so we can put the 600, but again I will put 700 or let's say 800 or 750. It's a little bit of science. Okay, in order to have some room space for deceleration. As you can see, we are still the VNAV is going up and we are far from the airport. So what does it mean? As you can see, the vertical speed, it's going down. That means that we are going down as well. For example, we put 600. Okay, right now. So this is please do not mess this technique. This is just explanation of this tool and what is the extended centerline, or let's say inbound course when the radar vectors, and how to fly it. Do not mess it with idle descent or let's say continuous descent technique on the approach. Okay, this is for another video and for another discussion. Okay, so if you are looking, we are still below the profile. We have 600 approximately. We are okay. And as you can see, vertical speed is going down. It's normal because we are descending and we are coming to the extended central line. So if the situation is revert, for example, you can see that your VNAV is below. Okay, so you have to do something with it. Let's say decelerate the airplane and put the flaps and start to go down with the flaps, for example 5, or if it is unachievable, make it with gear down. Okay, so for the time being it's pretty okay. I will put 500 because we are 2000 feet below the profile and VNAV it's again rising. Okay, and we are approximately 10 nautical miles prior to reaching the extended central line. So we can make it, for example, heading to the pavos, but again be aware of the fact that we have a strong headwind component. So this is another situation. If we have tailwind component, we should be on the conservative side. Okay, and now you can see that we have glide slope here. Okay, so that's pretty perfect. Glide slope is alive. So we may start our deceleration approximately 5 nautical miles. Okay, so right now we'll start decelerating. Make it by a level change or press vertical speed and leave it 500 feet per minute. It will goes down without any problem, so it's up to you. Okay, if it doesn't go, make it via level change. That's pretty okay. So I will press the level change because it keeps our speed, and as you can see, we should keep into the pavos. Flight path angle now it's 0 and vertical bearing is 1.3. It's completely normal because we are decelerating. Okay, and as I told you before, it doesn't account for decelerating, so we have to make it this way. Okay, so we are approximately 2.5 nautical miles. It's time to extend our flaps. So put the flaps 1 and decelerate like this now, and by vertical speed. As you can see, in order to reach the pebbles at this certain altitude, we should have approximately 600 feet per minute. Okay, so flaps 5, make it 180. Okay, VOR, make it a little bit shallower. Okay, we have localizer captured, approach mode, and 182. So as you can see, we are quite okay. We are on overhead pebbles point, nearly the same. Okay, it's a little bit, we are a little bit further in front of the pebbles, but basically no problem with 2500. And in this point we could reach the glide slope, because this is the final approach point. So basically we are perfect, we are stable on the approach, and that what we were looking for. And we have strong headwind component of 40 knots. Okay, so we can easily make it with flaps 10. Okay, so put flaps 10 and leave it 170. Okay, now we have glide slope captured, miss approach altitude is set, and that's it. We are waiting for 6 nautical mile. So I will check the weather right now in Amsterdam. Okay, so we have 70 knots of headwind. That's okay. So on the pilot flying side should be approach page, on pilot monitoring side should be progress page number 2, in order to let him know or her know the crosswind component and headwind component. So approximately we have 80, so plus 9, so that means 155 will be our approach speed. Okay, and as you can see, we can go gear down, flaps 15, armed speed brakes. That's it. We can go a little bit down with the speed 160, flaps 25 and flaps 30 and 155. Okay, so this will be our approach speed. And as you can see, we have crosswind from the right side of 5 knots, but we have headwind of 34 knots. Okay, so but anemometer show us the wind is only 17 knots. Okay, so right now I will adjust the speed a little bit more in order to have the room space. Okay, and as the altitude drops, the headwind component will drops as well, so it should drops. Okay, so it's a little bit bumpy, so manual flying, deselect speed, and now I have controls. Okay, so we can go down because we are high above the profile. Minimum is landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. Speed brake is up. We are not using thrust reverse, just idle detent. Manual braking. And the second one is us. Okay, stop the speed brakes. And we are leaving the active runway, and that's the end of the video. And I hope you like this, and this is the simple explanation of this quite nice feature on Boeing 737 in order to make your situational awareness. So once again, repeat, I will stop the airplane, and once again we will repeat this situation. And as I said before, it automatically pops up the altitude and constraint on your descent page, but feel free to put them any waypoint and altitude constraints, and you will see the vertical speed you should keep in order to reach this waypoint at certain altitude. And the vertical bearing is the bearing which you should have to keep in order to fly into this waypoint, and flight path angle, it's your current angle. Okay, so if the flight path angle and vertical bearing are the same, that means that you are good on the profile. Or let's say if you are encountering a shortcut, so you will know when you are pressing and execute the shortcut, you will not be high on the profile, and you'll be okay. So that's another point how we can solve the situation in order not to be high on the profile and to behave like a professionals on LATSIM. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.